evening, Patriots, and welcome to another edition of the Douglas Ducote Show. You had many places you could be tonight. You chose to be here with me, and for that, I am forever grateful. Thank you very, very much. Whether you're watching us tonight on our YouTube channel or Rumble channel over at X or Facebook, please like, subscribe, share it with your family and friends, and also check out DouglasDucote.com, our website. So tonight is going to be a little shorter than normal because my butt is tired. We just got back this evening from Pensacola, Florida. We left last week. Went down with my son, Michael, my mother. It was her first trip or vacation since the passing of my father. And it would also have been my parents' 67th wedding anniversary. Would have been Saturday. Also, my niece went along with us. It was her birthday on Saturday. My sister and my great niece. So we went down, we took the boat. Didn't have as much time on the water as we had hoped for. We got about two and a half hours out there on the water, but the weather was still not up to par per se with the storms that had recently moved through. All of the weather apps told us it was gorgeous and wonderful, and we were just going to have a great time. But not in my boat. Maybe if you were in something the size of a battleship, would have been more like it. But in the 2.5 hours that we had of opportunity, we enjoyed it. And my mother actually drove the boat, which was pretty cool to see. A lot of those pictures I have uploaded on my Facebook site, and they're available to the public to see. So check it out if you'd like to. Shout out to those at McGuire's Restaurant, where we celebrated on Saturday night for what would have been, again, my parents' anniversary and my niece's birthday. McGuire's Restaurant in Pensacola, Florida. If you've never been there, you ever get down to Florida, you got to go check it out. Wonderful, wonderful restaurant. Great food, steaks that are amazing, and the seafood is spectacular as well. And also, shout out to the Naval Security Forces at Pensacola Naval Air Station who helped us out yesterday. And I just leave it at that. We had a little incident that took place on the Naval Air Station, and ended up having to call security to come out there and assist us, and they did. So everything worked out good, and we continued driving on. So anyhow, let's get into tonight's show, and we're going to start off first. You ever heard of Melissa DeRosa? I hadn't until now. That'd be her. She is a Democratic strategist, and she's accused the Democratic socialist candidates and politicians like New York City Mayor Zoran Mamdani of being parasites who leech off and could kill the political party. Wow, where have you heard that before? DeRosa made the comment on a special report with Brett Baer Monday night as Mamdani continues to campaign for openly socialist candidates in the New York primary elections, such as political organizer Dalariza Avala Chaveira. They're not Democrats, they're socialists. They are parasites. She is the former, Melissa DeRosa, that you see right there, is the former Andrew Cuomo chief of staff. They cannot win on their own by creating their own party. So they're going to latch onto the Democrat Party and feed off of it with the overall goal of taking it over and killing it. Boy, is she ever spot on with that. As a former Democrat, it's one of the reasons I left the Democrat Party. It was taken over by far left liberals and socialists, communists, whatever you want to call them. It's the party's just gone. It's gone so far left that there's no recovering from it, at least not in my personal opinion. She continued, so that's what the Democrat Socialists of America is doing. They started this in 2016 with Bernie and Hillary. And of course, Representative Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, AOC, then gets elected in 2018. You see the introduction of the squad and what's been happening since then. This year, they do feel like it's their big opportunity. They're going for broke. You don't see them trying to win purple or red seats. You don't see them trying to pick off Democrats and save blue seats. DeRosa pointed to the campaign of Chevrolet as an example. She remarked that she's challenging New York Representative Espeleti, the Congressional Hispanic Caucus chair, who has a 100% voting record with the Democrat Party. But he's not a socialist. He is not an anti-Semitic. He believes in public safety. He believes in opportunity and innovation and capitalism. And for that, they're trying to off him. Yes, it's a terrible thing for the Democrat Party if they're successful in taking over. Then I think it's going to set the party back decades, DeRosa said. Madani has also endorsed Assembly member Claire Valdez and former New York City Comptroller Brad Lander ahead of the primary elections that took place today. Both candidates have pushed far left policies such as abolishing of ICE, and also some of them have faced significant backlash over their views on abolishing prisons and for open borders. And they just keep on doubling down on stupid. You know, one would think that after the last election, when the Democrats lost 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue, the House, the Senate, the Electoral College, the popular vote, all the swing states, the Hispanic vote, the black vote, they would have woke up by now and said, we're not going in the right direction. But no, instead they're doubling down on stupid and doing one hell of a great job of it. So keep it on. Just drive right down that road until you get to the end of the cliff and take the rest of the sheep with you, because that's where the Democrat Party is going to. The Democrat Party that I used to belong to, the JFK era Democrats, let's say, that party's long gone. And look, that's not to say that the Republican Party is much better today. Yes, the Republican Party today is kind of like what the Democrats were back when I was a Democrat. And of course, then I switched parties and I became a registered Republican. And then we watched as Republicans took back control of everything this last election and are doing nothing to hold accountable all the criminal activity within the Democrat Party that we've watched when they weaponized the DOJ and the FBI against Trump, anyone associated with Make America Great Again, Republicans, conservatives, Catholics. List goes on and on and on of all the things that they did to put people in prison and go out. Look what they did to Donald Trump, for instance. Whether you like him or don't like him, all these lawsuits and impeachment trials, it was all a sham. None of it was true. We've went over this 1,000 times. We've shared it with everyone. It was just a big joke, although it's a criminal joke, and they should be held accountable. And I don't see the Department of Justice and FBI doing anything to them. I don't see them doing anything with the members of Congress that are inciting violence towards Trump. Hell, there's been more assassination attempts on Donald Trump than any president in our history, to include he was shot. And yet, nothing's being done to shut them up. All you got to do is start putting these people in jail, and that will stop. When they start spreading hate and violence against Republicans and conservatives and Trump, whether it's a Democrat governor or a Democrat mayor or Democrat members of Congress, the House or the Senate, when you actually hold them accountable with the federal crimes they're committing, then guess what? All this hate on the streets of America will kind of dry up. But that's not what they're doing. And then, as many of you know, recently I just said, you know what, I've had enough of both parties. And now I'm a registered independent because it's my personal belief that neither party, the Democrat Party or the Republican Party, give two shits about me and you. They just don't. We, the people, have been left to fend for ourselves. And neither party represents our core values or the values and the beliefs and the morality of our forefathers, those that founded this great nation. As we approach the 250th year of America, this 4th of July, we are just literally steps away from losing it all. Ronald Reagan put it very, very well, that we were just one generation away from the extinction of the American dream as we know it. And damn, was he right on. So keep that in mind come voting time. All right. This next story, you all know this woman, and I'm sure, look, I hate to show her picture. I hate to even talk about her, but you got to hear this. When I talk about a racist bigot, it's just absolutely appalling what's coming out of her mouth. And the fact that MSNBC gives her a platform, they themselves should be held accountable. Far-left journalist Joy Reid said that Juneteenth is the true day that should be commemorated to celebrate America's freedom, not July 4th. And she said no one she knows who's black celebrates Independence Day. I got news for you, Joy. That's because your black friends are hateful, racist, bigot liberals like you are. And of course, they don't celebrate the 4th of July. But true African Americans do. As Reid spoke with MS Now analyst Alex Wagner on Reid's YouTube show, she revealed that while her white friends love to celebrate America's Independence Day on the 4th of July, I can promise you, black folks, we will take that day off. We'll barbecue because we are off. But nobody black I know is really excited about the 4th of July. It is what Frederick Douglass said it is. It's a celebration of slaveholders who freed themselves from having to pay taxes to the crown for their slave empire, she added. And that is what it is. I mean, if we're being perfectly honest, whether you read the 1619 Project or not, you just have to understand that for black people, particularly for African Americans, there's a duty of 4th of July that is hard to reconcile if you think about it too much. She compared this how Indians and people of from North America feel about Thanksgiving, the Indians, indigenous people. So they're like, you know, it's not cute to us. But so y'all go ahead and celebrate your Thanksgiving. We're not giving thanks, okay? She quipped. And then black people feel that way about 4th of July, she said. Whether it's Juneteenth, to me, is the real thing that 4th of July is. Because we really were not a democracy until we ended slavery, Reid said. And then we were really not a democracy until the people who lost the Civil War were finally forced to affirm and act upon the 13th, 14th, and 15th Amendments, which they were not forced to do until the 1960s. By the way, late, Wagner agreed. Reid went on to note that President Abraham Lincoln originally was willing to tolerate slavery even if he disliked it, so long as he could keep the Union together. Reed went on to argue he was likely high-key racist, to the point he advocated, let's send them all back to Africa. Really, Joy? Which, maybe we would have been like, tell the Lord thank you. I don't know. Wagner went on to agree that Juneteenth is the answer to the hard question of what patriotism should look like. Wagner expressed a rejection of Trump's representing America. Reed argued that President Donald Trump is an accurate representation of what America is and has always been. Donald Trump represents the majority of American history. He is just our dessert, Reed said. Wagner pushed back, saying that while he may represent American history, he does not represent America's present. He's some of the present, Reed explained, saying that former President Barack Obama, who she said represent America's striving to be better, whereas Trump is the demon exposed to the world to see. Joy, you should just remove that word, that name. You should just change it to, I don't know, bigot. You are, hands down, the most racist. I thought Don Lemon was bad. You took the cake, Joy. You are unbelievable with your hatred towards this country and what we stand for. And your view of history is completely and utterly wrong. Joy, you're a black woman. You're a Democrat. If you just did your history, you would realize that it's your party that you support that fought against Abraham Lincoln freeing the slaves. It was your party that assassinated him. It was a Democrat. It was your party that founded the KKK, founded Planned Parenthood for the sole purpose of killing black babies. It was your party in the 60s that fought for keeping everybody segregated. Black people have their own restaurants, their own water fountains, their own movie theaters. That's the Democrat Party that did that, Joy. Look up the history of the party that you support and help us understand, me as a former Democrat who can tell you all about that party's racist history, help us understand how you get what you get out of our history. Because it doesn't make any sense, Joy. You are a prime example of what's wrong with damn near half of this country. You've lost track of what reality is, especially when it comes to our history. You want to erase history so bad that you're bound to allow it to repeat itself, and you don't seem to care. Joy Reid, the biggest racist, bigot person on television today or in the podcast world. What a crying ass shame. Let's talk a little bit about the ongoing saga. The results of the latest U.S.-Iran negotiations in Switzerland include measures to prevent incidents in the Straits of Hormuz and the creation of a deconfliction cell to help enforce the U.S.-Iran ceasefire agreement, including in Lebanon. Israel and Lebanon are set to hold talks in Washington, D.C. starting today through June 23rd to Thursday, June 25th, according to the State Department. Two sides are working to make progress towards lasting peace. The Israel Defense Forces said today it will continue to remove immediate threats and will not allow the Hezbollah terrorist organizations to harm Israeli citizens, civilians, and IDF soldiers. Meanwhile, the Trump administration is keeping major U.S. military forces in the Middle East despite lifting its naval blockade of Iran and launching a 60-day negotiation period aimed at securing long-term agreements with Tehran. Two carrier strike groups, the USS Abraham Lincoln and the USS George H.W. Bush, will remain operating in the Arabian Sea, while President Donald Trump says that U.S. naval forces would stay in position even after the reopening of the straits. All ships are remaining in place should be it necessary to reinstate the blockade, which seems at this point highly unlikely, Trump wrote on his Truth Social post. The comments provide the clearest indication yet that the administration intends to maintain its military leverage over Iran while negotiations continue, even as officials tout progress towards a broader agreement. The plan is to keep the current force posture during the 60-day negotiations, a U.S. official told reporters on a call June 15th. We hope to draw them down, but we're not doing that yet. The administration has not provided a timetable for reducing its military presence in the region, saying that any drawdown would depend on the progress towards that final agreement with Iran. The agreement contemplates the reduction of military forces in the region upon the agreement of a final deal. The decision means the Pentagon will maintain military posture and recently included roughly 50,000 troops deployed to the Middle East, one of the largest U.S. forces concentration in the region in more than 2 decades. The Senate vote 50-48 today, although, to back legislation aimed at limiting U.S. military involvement in Iran, while President Donald Trump pursues a peace agreement with them. The measure, which previously passed the House, received support from 4 Republicans, Senator Rand Paul, Lisa Murkowski, Susan Collins, and Bill Cassidy. Senator John Fetterman was the lone Democrat that voted against that resolution. The White House dismissed the vote as having no significance at all, and it doesn't, noting that concurrent resolutions do not go to the president and carry no force of law. The White House said there are ongoing hostilities from which to remove U.S. forces, citing the April 8th ceasefire, and said the resolution passage was due to Republican absence only. And I couldn't agree more. And what a shame it is. Look, I've done a lot of videos and talked in my show about the drag queen problem we have here in America. This is no hit against the LGBT community, all right, per se. I have personal friends that I grew up with, that I went to school with, that I served in the military with, that I served in law enforcement with, that are gay, men and women, that have my 6 and I have theirs. And they don't support this drag queen nonsense either, or these transsexuals, these men converting themselves into women for the sole purpose of beating women in sports and entering their locker rooms and their restrooms. And they continue to put a threat out there that the left-wing media just ignores. And when people like me bring this up, we get accused of being homophobic. We've been accused of being bigots, being against drag queens, against lesbians or gays. None of that's true, okay? Because I don't care what you do behind closed doors, whether you're straight or you're gay or you're trans or you believe in drag queens or you are a drag queen. I don't care. What I care about, and most Americans care about, is your involvement of kids, children, with your sexuality. And again, it doesn't matter if you're straight, gay, trans, none of that. It doesn't matter what your sexual orientation is. If you're a straight person and you're injecting your sexuality on children, your ass should be held accountable for that. There's no place for children in this. But for some reason that I can't wrap my head around, in the broader sense of the LGBT community, leaning towards the trans and leaning towards the drag queens, they want to involve children. They want to have story hour in schools with drag queens and in public libraries involving children. And that's not okay. Again, if what you do is a consenting adult with consenting adults behind closed doors, nobody cares. I sure as hell don't. You do you, boo. But when you bring children into this, there's a problem. And we see this happening in massive amounts across America. In pretty much every major metropolitan city we have this problem with a certain fringe of the LGBTQ community that support these drag queens and support these trans men in their bringing children into their fold. And that's not okay. And when we report on this stuff, we're called liars. We're said, they say we're homophobic. They say it's just not true. Because the liberal media, CNN, MSNBC, ABC, CBS, NBC, none of them are reporting on the facts of the trans communities and the drag queen communities. They won't touch it. So therefore, the supporters think it's all made up. Which brings me to this story. A New York school board vice president, I'll repeat that, a New York school board vice president who called himself the first drag queen elected to a public school board has been arrested on charges of sexual misconduct against children. It appears he, or whatever you want to call him, was in drag when they arrested him. If you look at that, it looks like he's trying to wipe the makeup off or whatever. I don't know what's going on there. The dude's name is Travis Bar Longo, 46. Was arrested by the New York State Police following an investigation into allegations that he engaged in a pattern of sexual, explicit digital communications with a child under the age of 12. A New York school board vice president, 46 years old. Longo, who serves as the vice president of the Casanova Central School District Board of Education, faces 4 counts of endangering the welfare of a child. Longo made his federal court appearance on Saturday on charges of receiving and possessing child pornography. According to the U.S. Attorney's Office, the district is located in the center of New York State. Investigators uncovered numerous images and videos of child pornography. During a search of Longo's cell phone on June 18th, included several videos depicting the sexual abuse of infants that Longo had received from other users on an internet-based messaging application. The U.S. Attorney's Office said in a statement, according to court records obtained by WSYR-TV, Police also recovered other chats on the device in which Longo discussed with other individuals his sexual interest in children, including a minor male child known to him and to whom he had access to. If convicted, and God willing he will be, Longo faces a mandatory minimum sentence of only 5 years in federal prison. Longo was elected to a 3-year term on the school board in May of 2024. In media appearances and speaking events, he often references his stage name, Anita Buffin, and is frequently described as the first drag queen performer elected to a school board. Now, following the announcement of the charges, the Casanova Board of Education issued a statement demanding Longo's immediate resignation. Longo resigned from the board yesterday evening, according to the post by Casanova School Superintendent Kevin Leckie. The board said in a statement before his resignation that it intended to pursue his removal. The Board of Education has been shocked, deeply saddened, and outraged by these serious allegations, and we extend our support and assistance to all children and families involved, the statement continued. Bullshit. Our response reflects the Board of Education's deep and unwavering commitment to every child's safety and well-being. Bullshit. Our charge to protect every student in our district is our moral and ethical duty, along with a responsibility to the sworn oath that is our legal obligation. You guys speak some great bullshit because none of it's true. You put him where he's at. We stand strong in condemning these allegations and these actions, while also acknowledging that it is responsibility of the judicial system to determine guilt or innocence. There you go. We appreciate all the hard work of law enforcement and their partners with us in protecting our students. The board statement continued. Look at that. Just look at that. Whether he's a trans, whether he's a circus clown, whether he's a drag queen, I don't know. Just don't quite wrap my head around it. But to follow that story up, I did come across something that was pretty damn funny. And laugh with me, because we need a good laugh these days.
That's the problem right there.
What?
You fucked the trans.
No, I didn't.
Yes, you did.
No. Okay, it was dark though, and I was drunk. I didn't know.
What the fuck are you talking about? You fucked up the transmission.
Are you talking? Oh.
Wait, what the hell?
Never mind.
Now, what was you talking about? Now, get your ass back here, man.
I'm sorry. I can't help myself. That shit was funny. Unless you support that kind of crap, then it's not funny. Then I'm a homophobic or whatever you want to call me, which is far from the truth. Anyhow, we got some serious problems in America. That's never gone away. Has it gotten better? Well, you better believe it has. Are we better than other countries? Well, it depends on who you ask. If you ask the average Democrat or liberal or socialist in America, they're going to tell you no. In fact, many of them say they hate America. In fact, right now, we have the largest percentage of Democrat members or registered Democrats claiming that they hate this country. And if they could afford it, they would live somewhere else. But see, here's the deal. Those that are screaming that the highest, the loudest, they've never been anywhere else. If you talk to those of us that have been to other countries, take myself, for instance, that have served overseas in 4 separate combat deployments, I've been all over this planet. Southeast, Southwest Asia, Africa, Central South America, all the Muslim countries. And I'm going to tell you, folks, even if we're talking about Europe, or you're talking about Spain, or anywhere, nothing comes close to comparing to the United States of America. We are, hands down, even with all of our problems and our issues, the best country on this planet. And I can say that as somebody who has visited many of the others. When Donald Trump once called some of them, like Somalia, shithole countries, they condemned him for doing it. I've been to shithole countries. America is not one of them. Do we have problems? You better believe we have problems. Just look at our Democrat-run cities in this country. Pick one. Pick any major metropolitan city in the United States of America that has a Democrat mayor. And what do you have happening? Horrible, horrible black on black crime, Antifa rioters, BLM rioters, socialist, Islamic takeovers, violence in the streets, and the Democrats doing nothing about it. I don't make this shit up. It's factual. You don't believe me? Go hang out in some of them sometime. Go to Memphis, Tennessee. Go to Oakland, California, or San Francisco. Go to Philadelphia. Go to Minneapolis. Go to some of these places that used to be wonderful and great places to visit. And now they're shitholes. Just like many of those countries across this globe. And that's sad. Have you ever seen a red area, a city with a Republican mayor, a Republican governor that's full of violent crime? Where are all the attacks on immigration customs enforcement officers taking place at? Democrat cities. It's right there in front of you. All you gotta do is open your eyes. Look at it. Listen to it. And this isn't anti-Democrat per se, because guess what? The average Democrat voter out there that's just working for a living, trying to put food on the table, raise their kids, take care of their family, they don't believe in the ideology of the core leadership of today's Democrat Party. They don't align with those morals and values and beliefs. They just don't realize what's happening to it. They're not paying attention to it because they're too busy taking care of their family and trying to raise their kids and trying to work and put food on the table. If they just took a moment to listen, and you can do it, it's free, it's all over the internet, it's everywhere, it's on YouTube, it's on Rumble, it's on Facebook, it's on X. You pick the place and you can find their speeches. And you listen to what is coming out of the mouths of the Democrat leadership of today. And who are the Democrat leadership of today? Who am I talking about? That control what that party believes in and does. AOC, Rashida Tlaib, Ilhan Omar, Hankam Jeffries, Cory Booker, Adam Schiff, Nancy Pelosi, even though she's on one foot out the door and the other foot almost in the grave, She still has major political pull. If you just listen to what they're saying daily, and you're a registered Democrat, you'd never vote for a Democrat again until they fix that shit. Again, I'm not saying the Republican Party isn't much better, but it doesn't even come close to socialism, communism, Islamic takeover and destruction of America and our core values and beliefs that's happening in Washington, D.C. and all across this country with Democrat governors like Tim Walz, for instance, and mayors and DAs and judges that are just slapping them on the wrist and let them right back out the door. Pay attention, America. Whatever side of the aisle you're on, whatever political party you align yourself with, you need to start paying attention to the leadership of your party and what's coming out of their pie hole. And I guarantee you, I promise you, you will go, what the hell did they just say? Because it's not okay. And thankfully, more and more people in the Democrat Party are waking the hell up. Did you know that right now, in the past just 2 years, 24 months, more people have unregistered from the Democrat Party than ever in its history. And more people in the past 2 years that were Democrats have registered as Republicans than in its entire history. I'm not saying if you're a Democrat, become a Republican, but at least think outside the box and don't vote for somebody because of their skin color or their sexual orientation or their religious background. Vote for them for family, faith, and freedom. Our Constitution. And don't listen to what's coming out of the pie hole of the far left. It's not reality. It's not the truth. It's harmful and it's hateful. And it's spreading like a fungus in our youth. And that is scary because our youth becomes the next leadership. Anyhow, you had many places you could be tonight. You chose to be here with me, and for that, I'm forever grateful. Thank you very, very much. Again, whether you watch us tonight on our YouTube channel or Rumble channel over at X, please like, subscribe, hit the little buttons, the like buttons, the share buttons, the remind me that the show's up button, or whatever it happens to be on that particular channel. You can also go to our Facebook profile, on Instagram as well, although they don't post as much stuff on Instagram anymore these days. And all my stuff on my personal Facebook page is open for the public to view. And also check out DouglasDucote.com. All types of videos that, especially our border documentaries, things that you can see that are different from what you can see on the regular social media platforms because they like to censor what I say and do. You can't do that on my own website. Also, if you're into logo type stuff, there's all kind of neat stuff in the Douglas Ducote store there that you can purchase for family and friends or yourself to show your support. And remember, my book, Baton Rouge to Baghdad and Back, is available in Walmart, Amazon, Barnes & Noble, Walmart, you name it. If you can buy a book online, you can find it there. Had the opportunity to either write about the horrors of war or the funny shit that we experience. And that's what I wrote about. So I hope that you'll get the book, get a copy of it, get it for yourself, or especially a veteran. If you have those in your family, they can relate to it. I promise you. And hopefully it will give you a good laugh, because we need more of that in America today than ever before. I'll be back on Thursday night for another live show. I hope you will join me. If anything breaks of major importance between now and then, I will either come on live or I'll do a video about it. Other than that, my friends, have a wonderful and blessed evening, and be safe. Remember to watch your six and that of your family and friends. As always, please say a prayer for our men and women serving the United States military, our veterans, our law enforcement officers, our first responders and their families, our angel families, our blue and gold star families, and our country. May God bless the United States of America, the best country on planet Earth. And may God bless each and every one of you. Good night, my friends. Thank you for being here. Say it with me. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.